Welcome back to The Betrayal of Humans HFY Part 2. Humanity stood as a beacon of resilience and innovation in a galaxy teeming with life and conflict. From the blue-green cradle of Earth, they had ventured into the stars, forging a future amidst the vast expanse of space. They had faced betrayal and treachery, withstood overwhelming odds, and emerged victorious, earning the respect and fear of their alien counterparts. It had been a lifetime since the United Planet Federations, a formidable coalition, had attempted to quash humanity's burgeoning power. The wounds of that conflict still festered, but humanity had grown more resilient and watchful. Their fleets now patrolled the outer reaches of their domain, poised to repel any potential threat. However, a new enigmatic threat was emerging. Unidentified vessels, their origins veiled in secrecy, had initiated a series of raids on human colonies and outposts. These assaults, precise and devastating, hinted at a level of internal knowledge that was deeply unsettling. The Earth Federation states, now more united than ever, prepared to confront this new adversary with the same determination that had carried them through countless battles. The atmosphere was heavy with tension and expectation as the stage was set for the next phase in humanity's fight for survival. The quiet hum of the USS Powell's engines was a deceptive lull, masking the storm brewing in the void of space. Admiral Nate Vance stood on the observation deck, his sharp blue eyes scanning the stars. Each glimmer was a reminder of humanity's hard-fought victories and the countless sacrifices made along the way. But tonight those stars seemed to flicker with a new, ominous urgency. Suddenly the silence was shattered by the blaring of alarms. Admiral, a distress signal from Outpost Theta 9. They're under attack. Lieutenant Commander Hannah Stark's voice cut through the tension, her eyes wide with urgency. Nate's jaw tightened. Another attack, another colony in peril. This time, the enemy had gone too far. Prepare for an immediate jump. Engage the cloaking device, he ordered, his voice calm but resolute. The Powell shuddered as it slipped into invisibility, a shadow in the night, racing towards the besieged outpost. In the darkness of space, an unseen enemy lurked, striking with ruthless precision. These mysterious attackers, the Xyler, had technology and tactics eerily similar to humanity's own. Betrayal, it seemed, had found a new face. As the Powell surged forward, Nate knew they were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting against a threat that had crept too close to home. As the Powell emerged from hyperspace into the chaos of battle, the true test of humanity's resilience began. Explosions lit up the void, and the sounds of war echoed across the vast expanse. The enemy believed they had the upper hand, but they were about to face the full might of the Earth Federation states. Nate Vance's voice rang out, a rallying cry amidst the storm. All ships, engage at will. Protect the outpost at all costs. Show them what it means to challenge humanity. The battle for humanity's future had begun, and it would be fought with every ounce of courage, determination, and unbreakable spirit that the human race could muster. Chapter 1, ATA Whisper in the Void. Admiral Nate Vance stood on the observation deck of the USS Powell, a Bohemia heavy battle carrier. The Powell, with its massive deploy, dark hull, and the ability to cloak and jump systems, was one of humanity's most formidable warships. The vastness of space stretched out before him, a tapestry of stars and darkness. The beast demands respect just by its appearance. Nate was a man of imposing presence, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, with short cropped brown hair flecked with gray. His piercing blue eyes scanned the star-filled void with unwavering focus. The lines on his face told the story of countless battles, each one a testament to his resilience and leadership. The silence of space was broken by the soft hum of the ship's engines and the distant murmur of the crew. Nate's thoughts were interrupted by the approach of his first officer, Lieutenant Commander Hannah Stark. She was a striking woman in her late 30s, with auburn hair pulled into a tight bun and green eyes that missed nothing. "Admiral," she said, her voice steady, "we've received a distress signal from Outpost Theta 9. They're under attack." Nate's jaw tightened. Prepare for an immediate jump. Inform the fleet to follow. Hannah nodded and swiftly relayed the orders. The crew moved with practiced precision, their movements a symphony of efficiency. The Powell shuddered slightly as it engaged its cloaking device, the stars outside seeming to blur as the ship prepared to jump. As the Powell leaped through the fabric of space, Nate felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. The unknown enemy had struck again, but this time they would face the full might of humanity's resolve. Chapter 2, First Contact. The Powell merged from the jump into the midst of chaos. Outpost Theta 9, a vital research station on the edge of human territory, was under heavy assault. Strange, sleek vessels, unlike any seen before, darted through the void, unleashing beams of energy that sliced through the outpost's defenses. Deploy all fighters, Nate ordered, his voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. Engage the enemy and protect the outpost at all costs. The Powell's hangar bays opened, and swarms of Earth Federation fighters launched into the fray. The battle was fierce and immediate. Explosions lit up the darkness, and the sound of weapons fire filled the airwaves. Nate's eyes were locked on the tactical display. Hannah, get me a direct link to Outpost Theta 9. Channel open, Saoirse replied. A static-filled image appeared on the main screen, showing a beleaguered officer. This is Commander Mitchell of Theta 9. We're taking heavy fire. Our shields won't hold much longer. Hang in there, Mitchell, Nate said. Reinforcements are on the way. We'll cover your evacuation. Nate turned to his weapons officer, Lieutenant Marcus Reed. Marcus was a broad-shouldered man with dark skin and a focused expression. Reed, target those enemy ships and give them everything we've got. Aye, Sir Marcus replied, his hands flying over the controls. The Powell's main guns roared to life, sending volleys of plasma toward the attacking vessels. The ship shuddered as it absorbed return fire, but its shields held firm. Chapter 3. The Enemy Unmasked. As the battle raged on, Powell's advanced sensors began to crack the encryption of the enemy's communication signals. Snatches of alien language filtered through, and the ship's AI worked tirelessly to translate. Sir, we're getting something, Hannah reported. The enemy, they're calling themselves the Xyler, and they're using technology remarkably similar to ours. Nate's brow furrowed. How could they have such technology? Unless... His thoughts raced. The Xyler's tactics and equipment suggested inside knowledge, a traitor within their own ranks, or perhaps the influence of the United Planet Federations. We need to capture one of their ships, Nate said decisively. Prepare a boarding party. Hannah nodded and relayed the orders. Within moments, a team of Earth Marines, clad in sleek, black combat suits, assembled in the hangar. Their leader, Captain Aiden Hawk, was a seasoned warrior with a scar running down his left cheek, a testament to the brutal hand-to-hand combat he'd survived. Aiden, Nate said, meeting the captain's eyes. We need intel. Get in, find out what you can, and get out. We'll cover you. Aiden saluted. Understood, sir. We won't let you down. Chapter 4, Behind Enemy Lines. The boarding pod launched from the Powell, streaking towards one of the Xyler vessels. The Marines braced themselves as the pod latched onto the enemy ship's hull and began to cut through. The hatch opened, and the Marines poured into the alien ship, weapons at the ready. The interior was dimly lit, with strange organic-looking walls that pulsed with an eerie light. Stay sharp, Aiden whispered, his voice barely audible over the soft hum of the ship. Reed, you're on point. Lieutenant Marcus Reed took the lead, his sharp eyes scanning the corridor ahead. The sound of distant footsteps echoed, and the team moved with silent precision, their training evident in every step. They encountered resistance almost immediately. Xyler soldiers, tall and lithe with insect-like features, emerged from the shadows. The two sides clashed in a fierce exchange of fire, the Marines' rifles spitting plasma bolts that cut through the alien ranks. "Push forward," Aiden commanded. "We need to reach the bridge." The battle was intense, with the sound of weapons fire, the shouts of the wounded, and the alien hisses filling the air. Despite the chaos, the Marines' 8th and 11th Divisions advanced steadily, their determination unyielding. Finally, they breached the bridge. The Xylar captain, a tall figure with multifaceted eyes, turned to face them, a look of surprise on its face. "Stand down," Aiden ordered, his weapon trained on the alien. The Xylar captain hissed something in its native tongue, but before it could react, Aiden fired, stunning it into unconsciousness. The two Marine divisions quickly secured the ship and bridge and began downloading the ship's data. "Mission accomplished," Aiden said, a grim smile on his face. "Let's get out of here." The large forces of Marines made their tactical withdrawals using their cloaking abilities. The Marines moved like ghosts undetected. Chapter 5: The Truth Revealed. Back on the Powell, Nate and his officers gathered in the briefing room. The captured Xylar data was displayed on the main screen, revealing a shocking truth. "The Xylar are being supplied by a faction within the United Planet Federations," Hannah said, her voice filled with anger. "They've been using our technology against us." Nate's eyes blazed with fury. "This treachery won't go unanswered. We'll take the fight to them and show them the true strength of humanity." The Powell and the fleet began preparations for a full-scale assault on the Xylar stronghold. The crew moved with renewed purpose, their resolve hardened by the betrayal. Chapter 6: The Siege of Xylar Prime. The fleet emerged from hyperspace on the edge of the Xylar home system. Before them lay Xylar Prime, a planet teeming with enemy forces and heavily fortified defenses. "All ships, engage at will," Nate ordered. "We take this planet, and we cut off the head of the snake." The battle that followed was one of epic proportions. The void was filled with the sounds of engines roaring, weapons firing, and ships exploding. Human and Xylar forces clashed in a deadly dance, each side fighting with everything they had. On the ground, Earth Marines deployed in force, their cloaked armor allowing them to move undetected through the enemy ranks. They struck with precision, their rifles and grenades wreaking havoc on Xylar positions. Aiden led his team through the thick of the fighting, and his every move was a testament to his skill and bravery. "Push forward," he shouted. "We're almost there." As the battle raged on, the Powell provided crucial support from orbit, its guns raining destruction on enemy fortifications. Nate watched the tactical display, his heart pounding with the rhythm of the conflict. Finally, the Xylar defenses began to crumble. Their lines broke, and the human forces surged forward, overwhelming the last pockets of resistance. The Marines' 4th, 6th, 9th, and 12th Divisions, along with Special Op, forced moves across the battlefield like a sweeping fog, undetected and taking no prison attack. Chapter 7: Victory and Vengeance. With Xylar Prime secured, the humans turned their attention to the final stronghold. The enemy leader, a Xylar warlord named Varys, had holed up in a massive fortress surrounded by his elite guards. "We end this now," Nate said, his voice filled with determination, "for Earth and for all of humanity." The assault on the fortress was swift and brutal. The Powell's main gun fired a devastating blast, breaching the outer walls. Earth Marines poured in, their weapons blazing. Aiden led the charge, his rifle cutting down any enemy that dared to stand in their way. The sounds of battle echoed through the corridors, a symphony of destruction. Finally, they reached the inner sanctum. Varys stood waiting, his eyes filled with hatred. "You will never defeat us," he hissed. "Watch us," Aiden replied, and with a final, decisive shot, ended the Xylar warlord's reign. At this time, the Earth Air Force and Air Wings cleared the sky, and the no-fly zone was in force. The skies were in control of the Earth and forced to do so in less than an hour. Epilogue: A strong beginning. The battle was won, and the casualties were low. As the smoke cleared and the sounds of war faded, the humans stood victorious. They had faced an enemy shrouded in secrecy and treachery, but their resolve had carried them through. Nate stood on the observation deck of the Powell, looking out at the stars. The threat had been vanquished, but the fight for humanity's future was far from over. They would remain vigilant, ever watchful for the next challenge. For now, though, they would celebrate their hard-won victory. They had proven once again that humanity's spirit was unbreakable, and their will to survive was unmatched. As the fleet prepared to return home, the crew of the Powell stood tall, their hearts filled with pride. They had faced the darkness and emerged into the light, united in their determination to protect mankind's future. And so, with their enemies defeated and their path forward clear, humanity looked to the stars with hope and resolve, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Earth Federation of Planets will continue its show of strength to secure its sectors of space. This is just the beginning. If you'd like more detailed chapters, specific scenes, or further development of the story, stay tuned, there are more coming.